Welcome to the update. I'm Eleanor Quirk. Floodwaters across the New South Wales mid-north coast have now started to recede as locals prepare for a major clean-up. The death toll from the flooding has now risen to 5 following the death of a man in his 80s. Hardship grants are being made available. Premier Chris Minns says the recovery will be long.
Once the storm moves on, you've got houses that are devastated, communities that have been overrun, and the damage just takes a long time to clear.
A recount for the federal seat of Bradfield on Sydney's North Shore will begin on Monday. There's just 8 votes in it after the distribution of preferences, with the Liberal candidate a whisker ahead of the Independent. A recount is standard when it comes down to less than 100 votes. Donald Trump has again fired up the trade war, threatening new tariffs on Apple. He's demanding the tech giant manufacture products in the United States if it wants to avoid a 25% tariff. But Apple says that would lead to iPhones costing 3 times as much.
They'll have to take out some of their profits. They'll make a little bit less money. I don't want the consumer to pay.
And Billy Joel has been diagnosed with a rare brain disease. The 76-year-old's been forced to cancel all upcoming tour dates. The condition's caused by a build-up of fluid on the brain and causes problems with hearing, vision and balance. Dr. Vin Gupta says it is treatable.
What it is the buildup of fluid in our brains. Our brain actually is filled with pockets of fluid, but our brain is surrounded by our skull, and so there's a fixed amount of space. And that's what's happening here. This is treatable, especially if it's diagnosed early.
Sport and entertainment are next. To sport in the NRL, the Eels have managed back-to-back wins with a dominant performance over Manly. The Eels securing the 30-10 point victory as veteran Junior Barlaw made his 250th NRL appearance.
The pleasing thing for us was just to stay right in there right to the 80th minute. We knew they were going to come out in the second half and play a lot of footy. I think the pleasing thing for us was just improving on what we were able to do last week, and there's a first back-to-back win for us. So as long as we keep improving week to week.
And in AFL, Essendon defeated Richmond by 23 points. To entertainment, a Paris court has found 8 people guilty over the violent armed robbery of Kim Kardashian. The reality star was tied up at gunpoint in her Paris hotel in 2016 as thieves ransacked her room, getting away with jewellery worth around $13 million. 10 people were on trial for playing a role in the burglary, with 2 of them eventually acquitted, the others handed varying jail sentences. Kim's attorney, Leonore Hendricks, says she's welcomed the verdict.
Mrs. Kardashian is now aware of the decision just rendered by the court. She wanted justice to be served. Justice has been served, it's now done. She can now move on with her life and think of other things.
And authorities have been called in after Britney Spears caused a commotion on a private jet. The pop star was on a flight from Cabo to LA, drinking to excess before lighting a cigarette mid-flight. The crew alerted authorities on the ground who met the plane when it landed, letting Spears go with a warning. And that's the latest from the Nova Podcast team. We'll see you again soon for another episode of The Update.